7-Eleven has become a staple of the current American car culture. Somehow, the Japanese-owned brand has gone from little more than a 24-hour petrol station to an icon, hosting car meets and even giving away a custom Mustang. But how did this all happen? And why are they suddenly so interested in car culture? To understand that, we're going to need to understand a little bit of 7-Eleven's history. The company used to be much larger. The origins of the convenience store brand can be traced way back to the early 1900s. Back then, refrigerators weren't a household item. People would instead use ice to keep their food cool. One chain of stores that sold this ice realized that if they conveniently sold certain grocery items alongside their ice, they could attract more customers. This was the birth of the first convenience store. By the 1940s, the successful chain changed their name to 7-Eleven. At the time, this name reflected the store's opening hours. The success of these convenience stores was massive, and by the 1980s, 7-Eleven had reached a place of market dominance. They started buying up other companies, competing convenience store chains, a petrol manufacturer, and they even owned the USA's largest chain of auto parts stores. But this success came at a price: massive debt. This debt, combined with the 1987 stock market crash, led to 7-Eleven eventually declaring bankruptcy in 1990. Now, it's kind of obvious to state that despite this bankruptcy, 7-Eleven is still around today. So what happened? It turns out that while the American chain was struggling with these financial issues, the Japanese version of the brand was doing really well. When 7-Eleven USA declared bankruptcy, the Japanese version of the company, along with their partner company, bought up a majority control of the USA brand. They then spent the next 10 years brutally selling off unnecessary companies that the USA chain had bought and restructuring the company to be more streamlined and profitable. 30 years later, in 2020, 7-Eleven was back and ready to make a big push to re-establish dominance in the American market. Over the last few years, 7-Eleven has been aggressively expanding into the USA once again, and this time, they really needed to work. This is where Chief Marketing Officer Marissa Jarrett comes in. She joined the company in October 2019, and she has a distinct marketing strategy: cultural relevance. Under her direction, 7-Eleven's marketing has been overhauled to be less corporate, less appealing to the older population, but more appealing to millennials and Gen Z. They have a TikTok account that posts comedic short-form content that's relevant to younger consumers. The Instagram posts pictures of people's cars. Twitter makes tweets like an unhinged Zoomer off their meds. And Facebook, well, it's Facebook. But overall, there's been a massive shift. When Marissa took over, the Instagram account had about 400,000 followers. A very respectable number by most measures, but significantly smaller than what you'd expect from a company of this size. And what was even more concerning for them was that of those 400,000 followers, at most, only a couple thousand were liking any of the account's posts. But then in October 2020, they tried something different. They reposted a picture by user Ed Range of two guys in their JDM cars sitting outside of a 7-Eleven, and it was a hit. The post got over 50,000 likes, a lot more than anything else the account had ever gotten before. They also created a new hashtag, Cars of 7-Eleven, so that this way, people could tag their own 7-Eleven car park photos. A month later, they did it again, another 50,000 plus likes. It's at this point, they knew they were onto something. In the same month, the Instagram account went through a purge. Almost 1,000 posts were deleted, most likely clearing the slate of all the posts that hadn't appealed to millennials and Gen Z, and setting up the aesthetic for their new marketing strategy. The Instagram account continued to post pictures of people's cars, at a rate of about one each month, and each time the posts got more likes. By September 2021, each car post was getting over 100,000 likes, 100 times more than anything else the account had been posting before getting into cars. This was significant, not just because 100,000 is a lot of likes to get, but because of the way social media platform algorithms work. When someone likes a post, leaves a comment, or sends it to a friend via DMs, that tells the platform's algorithm that this post is good, and it then puts it on more people's timelines. When you get 100,000 likes on a post, it hasn't just been seen by 100,000 people. It's probably being shown to millions. Just by posting pictures of cars, the new marketing strategy that Marissa had started a year before was beginning to play out. 7-Eleven was regaining cultural relevance. At least it was on Instagram. But it's what happened next that really brought the company back into the spotlight. In October, TikTok user Hot Wheel TikTok made a video highlighting the Instagram account reposting people's cars, asking why nobody was talking about it. The video quickly gained 40,000 views. And then people did start talking about it. Some smart-ass marketing people, let me tell ya. 7-Eleven is so goated for this. Articles talking about the company's bold new marketing strategy began coming out thick and fast. Back on Instagram, in just 1 week between October 25th and November the 1st, the 7-Eleven Instagram account gained 170,000 new followers. And it didn't stop there. It wasn't just the car posts that were getting likes now. Anything 7-Eleven posted was getting a positive reaction. Only a few days later, users on TikTok and Instagram began rallying people around a bold new plan. Hold car meets at 7-Elevens nationwide on the same day to show the convenience chain that this newfound support was more than just numbers on the internet. The posts garnered massive attention, and people were getting hyped for these meets. Some people were skeptical, doubtful that people could behave themselves. Police were ready to respond to any behaviour like what they'd been dealing with already at takeover meets. Then 7-Eleven corporate sent out an email to all their stores nationally.
You've got mail.
Our team has been informed that 7-Eleven social followers are planning a car meetup at 7-Eleven stores nationwide this Friday, November 5th at 6 p.m, in response to a viral trend on TikTok last week. While the car meetup is not a 7-Eleven sponsored event, it may be an exciting opportunity to drive customer traffic to your stores and build excitement about the brand. Unlike other companies that took issue with car enthusiasts using their otherwise empty car parks at night, 7-Eleven corporate saw this as an opportunity. Marissa's plan to make the company culturally relevant again was working, and it hadn't cost them a cent. All they'd had to do was share some photos of cars, and now people were clamoring to come to their stores. They just had to hope that everything would go off without a hitch, and none of these meets got out of hand. The night of the 7-Eleven meet arrived. And yeah, they were pretty good. Lots of great videos on TikTok, Insta, and YouTube. The turnout for some of them was very impressive. And somehow, across the whole country, no major headlines decrying the meets or major police presence shutting them down. Overall, it was a huge success, and the company's Instagram account even posted a cute little diorama to acknowledge it. With the car meets over, it was back to business as usual. By the end of November, the account surpassed 711,000 followers. This was an impressive leap, almost doubling their follower count in only a month. The posts continued in 2022, with some smaller scale car meets happening sporadically. But the next big development came in February. 7-Eleven announced that they would be partnering with competitive esports game Rocket League. Being based on cars, it was an obvious choice. Customers could purchase certain items only in store at 7-Eleven and unlock visual customizations for their Rocket League car. Alongside this partnership with Rocket League, they announced that they were doing a giveaway. They had purchased a Mustang, and they would have the community vote on aspects of the car's visuals like wrap, wheels, its seats, and more. A couple of days later, voting began. Using the poll functions on Instagram stories and Twitter, the brand had its followers decide on the aesthetics of the 7-Eleven car. And after a week of voting, what was to be the final product was revealed: the Model 7-Eleven. Over the following months, the number of car posts increased to weekly. Sporadic updates of the 7-Eleven Mustang were scattered throughout. By this point, a meme had evolved within the 7-Eleven Instagram community. Anytime the account posted something that wasn't cars, the comments would be flooded with variations of "where car." The "where car" comments got so frequent that the people running the account acknowledged the meme in the announcement post for the custom Mustang. They also made several tongue-in-cheek videos dealing with their frustration at the comments always being "where car." Now, it might seem like this would be very annoying for the staff running the 7-Eleven Instagram account, but remember what I said earlier about engagement. If fans continued to flood non-car related posts with "where car," the algorithm continues to think that those posts must be good, and it pushes them on more users. So by acknowledging the meme, the staff were actually encouraging people to spread more than just car-related posts. This eventually culminated with them releasing Wear Car shirts along with some other 7-Eleven car-related merch. That actually looks pretty cool, but they don't ship to Australia, unfortunately. 7-Eleven, if you see this, hook me up. But what about that custom Mustang? Well, on May 10th, the Model 711 was revealed. Sporting a retro wrap look, a pizza Slurpee holder, and a Slurpee shifter. Its winner, Steve, would eventually get a post on the official Instagram account with the car, and received a lot of jealousy and congratulations. By mid-year, things were beginning to slow down. The car posts were still getting significantly more likes than anything from the years before, but other than the occasional standout, the numbers weren't as high as they were during the peak of the trend. The Instagram account rounded out the year with a 7-Eleven Car of the Year contest. They haven't announced the winner for that one, so maybe we'll find out in the coming weeks. So did all of this actually help 7-Eleven? Marissa Jarrett's plan to make the company culturally relevant with younger people had worked, but did this actually make them more money? Well, it's hard to say. Because the holding company that owns 7-Eleven is Japanese, they own a bunch of other companies. Their financial reports that are available to investors focus mainly on overall corporate financials and only really dive into detail with companies operating inside Japan. But what I was able to glean is that US stores saw a significant uptick in sales growth in 2021, and they continued that trend into 2022. Could this all be thanks to the car community? Maybe. What do you think? Did the car community help save 7-Eleven in the USA? And are you interested to see with what they come up with next? As always, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.